get the stream over there for you guys to see. There's a boom box riding by, and people are saying, can you do something about that boom box? No, sir. That's not a law anymore, I can't enforce that, but we get blamed for stuff like that all the time. So I think that's enough said, but just be prepared, anytime somebody trashes me in here, or any other public setting, if I have the ability to be here, I'm going to respond.
And I appreciate your comments, Sheriff. I understand, I worked in the court system for 30 years, and I fully understand. I've been in your shoes, and I understand, Commissioner Davis, I'm sure would echo my comments. You know, unfortunately, we have a section in the agenda every meeting that says petitions from the public. I had no idea what he was coming up here to say.
So I understand that, and I don't think you can prevent that, and I think it's, that's the land we live in.
Yeah.
And that's what it's gonna be, but I have ability to
You have a right to
respond,
come back and
so I
respond.
appreciate you letting me come up here and respond.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along, I'll entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Motion.
Okay, motion is second. All those in favor of the consent agenda, be approved. Aye. Same sign. 5-0. Unfinished business, discussion regarding the in-kind services and demolition of the senior citizen building in Greenville.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Dean is here from the city of Greenville, and we talked this a little bit at our last meeting. And we got an estimate as to what it's gonna cost to demolish the building. And it's kind of a time-sensitive issue here. Brian, you got anything you can add to it, or any questions from the board?
I think, didn't we provide the estimate that Bonnie did for us?
Yes.
22,000, I think.
Right, and it is, there's a lot of concrete and block in that building, so there's a tremendous amount of weight, to tear that building down, so we figured, 3 weeks with those 3 trucks and an excavator to tear it down and haul it off.
Yeah. Well, I think we were told that it was gonna be a wood building, and obviously, I rode by the other day, it's a full brick building, and you got a pad, not to mention the concrete pad underneath it, and it's, obviously, the trucks, we can't fill the trucks up because, like it was said, the weight problem is gonna, it may take as many as 14 or 15 loads to take it out there, I don't know. It's gonna be a lot.
Chairman, that's not gonna be like, I asked the architect, and, the outside portion of it is, I mean, first of all, let me back up, the building is over 100 years old.
Yes.
So it's hard to know what exactly you're getting. If you go on the inside of the senior citizen building, all of it's completely wood. In fact, you can see to the heavens through some portions of it, all right? So it needs to come down, but there's an outside shell that has the brick there, and so we're estimating, I mean, the architect didn't think it would take 2 weeks. I think Brian was being a little conservative and cautious in his estimate, and rightfully so. I'm not disputing that. And there is some cost sharing here. The Arcelo Dump is, they're gonna work with us on the tipping fees. They're gonna reuse some of the brick and so forth to use as road pave, if you will, for some of that stuff they have out there. So, you know, this is really an opportunity, I think, for this board to come together as one and to help one of your own, so we can get moving on this new community center that will be benefit both to the senior citizens and to the youth there. I like to emphasize here that the youth in Greenville have nowhere currently to go or to play, and this is one of the top 4 priorities that they gave me, as well as getting a new senior citizen center. Now, when I first came, Chairman, just to kind of give you a bit of a primer, Rosa Richardson gave me an estimate of $15,000 just to redo part of the roof. So whether that building gets knocked down tomorrow or the next day, it needs to close in the next week because it's not safe, and we need to move forward. We got the money for it. I just got assurance that we're in the money, if we can get the help here. So if you guys will, if you gentlemen will help us, I think we can go ahead and move forward and have something that all of us are proud for in the town of Greenville here. And as you know, we need some economic development there. There hasn't been a whole lot done in the community for some time, You know, I'm close to 75%, finished with the funding for the grocery store that's gonna come to the community, so we're in a good place. But, this is an impediment right now, or barrier, if you will, and I hope that this, commission will help me get past this barrier.
Thank you, Steve.
So, Mr. Chair, if I
Yes.
may,
Mhm.
last time we met, we talked about this, and the concern being, as our attorney told us, we can't use Lonnie's budget money, because he's funded through fuel tax money, revenues.
That's right.
And that we would have to reimburse his department from the general fund if we done this.
That is correct.
Is that correct?
Yes, that was my understanding.
The money does have to come out of general fund and would have to be put back in, because you're absolutely right, all of the road department money does come from the gas tax. So we
So,
would, basically, we
with
would
that
be taking
being
money.
said, I would ask, do we have $22,236 in general fund in this fiscal year? As you know, we're still in the red of next year's budget.
They could be made available.
Okay.
We do have, you could make it well.
Right now, I would say that, right now, I would say you'd be pulling from reserve, but, I mean,
Mr. Ingram, I'm all for it, but I just need to know in my mind, where we gonna fund it and general fund, through the general fund, because we're about as tight now as we've ever been, we're still in the red for next year's budget, balanced, so if this can be done in this fiscal.
But Commissioner, I also want you to know that, the senior citizen building, they're having their last little, shindig later this week. And the building's getting closed at that time, and so, the senior citizens, I mean, are gonna be coming back and forth over here, so this is gonna kind of save long term, but again, I mean, you're talking about a $600,000 project, that was once a $1.2 million project that we brought down in the money. And so, we wouldn't be making this request if it wasn't, absolutely necessary that we have this, and so that's where we're at.
And if you understand, I totally agree with you, but if the money was, if he was to say the money was not there, then I couldn't vote for it.
I think
He's
we will.
telling me the money's there, I'll do it.
Okay.
So you're entitled to your vote.
Let me clarify something, Mr. Dean. I think every one of us at this table are totally in agreement with what you're saying. The question is, that Commissioner Davis is pointing out is, can we get this done in this fiscal year, which ends September 30th? Okay, because we've got to, we're taking money from reserves, and our chief financial officer has said we have it, we can do it, but it's gotta be done this year, because as already been pointed out, we're struggling right now in budget hearings to get balanced budget for next year, which begins October 1, and October 1's gonna be here before you know it.
Mr. Chair, based on the information that's been presented, I move that we go ahead and allow for the, in-kind service to begin at that amount.
At the 22,300.
I guess with the amount that was,
That was,
Will the amount over there?
yes.
That would be like a not to exceed amount.
Not to
Because-
exceed, yeah.
Because we would only reimburse whatever we actually
Right,
spend,
right.
If we could do it for
If it
less,
goes
then
less,
we
then
would do
you-
it for less. and we would only-
I think what you're doing, you're approving the, county road department to actually do the demolition work, and you're authorizing, the up to 22,336 to be,
Correct.
their budget to be reimbursed that amount out of general.
That's correct.
And hopefully if we can do it for less, that's fine.
That's
All right. All right, I have a motion and a second.
and just prepare the discussion, Billy, under what you're saying, we can do
We
that.
can do
Okay.
Okay.
And, more discussion, Mr. Chair, when do we need to get started?
Yesterday.
I knew what the answer was gonna be.
Lonnie, how's your schedule look?
Just keep in mind, we got a storm coming this way. If we get bombarded with a hurricane,
Yeah.
the equipment being available would be the only problem. Other than that, we can start. We'll make it work. It's just, if we get inundated with debris from trees being down, naturally, we gotta take care of that first. If the time crunch is by the end of September, Dorian may put a stop to that.
Yeah.
You understand the hurricane, and we
Yes,
are
sir.
facing that.
And
And
we're
we
so
don't,
grateful
we
and
don't know
humble.
where it's gonna make landfall, we don't know it is coming into the Atlantic side, thank goodness, and we're 150 miles away from there, and that's good news. And, but understand, we will work with you as well as we can.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Having a motion and a second, discussion being made, I will, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Pass 5-0. Ms. Dean?
I'm humble and we're grateful.
Okay.
Thank you.
We will get it down as quick as we can. All right, discussion on the blue building, I think we've got some.
Petition. Oh, come on, buddy.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Placed in your seats earlier tonight, a overview of the request and also an initial letter, which I think you've already seen from the applicants. Madison, Twin Oaks Madison LLC, as you know, is interested in rehabbing the old, what we call the blue building, which the address is 799 West Picnic Street. And they're interested in rehabbing that building and creating a business or businesses in that building and creating some jobs and opportunity in Madison. Once the building, or if the building is transferred over to them, you'll see in my notes that I presented to you that Twin Oaks has committed to $1.3 million in capital facilities improvement. That's basically rehabbing the building from the condition it's currently in. They're committing to 50-plus new jobs within 3 years, but that'll probably be a good bit sooner than that. And their equipment costs are anticipated being about $1.5 million. They have also agreed to having a median income average above the Madison average, which is currently, they're committing to 115% of the median income, which is currently $14.84 an hour. So to meet state expectations for that. So at this point, what I would ask the commission to consider is possibly having a letter of intent or a contract of agreement written up by the county attorney with itemizing out what the county would be willing to do, and then itemizing out also what the expectations